Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all. Thanks for joining us in this live webinar on the innovative marketing strategies in post-COVID world by Vishwa Vishwani Institutes of Systems and Management in association with VAV. I take this moment to welcome our speakers, Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh, Director, PGDM, and Professor Venkata Lakshman, Quality Control Head, Vishwa Vishwani Institute of Systems and Management. Our first speaker, Dr. Bharat, holds triple master's degree with doctorate in management. With 3 decades of industry and teaching experience, Dr. Bharat is trained at IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Kozhikode, IIT Bombay. Without any further delay, over to you, Dr. Bharat, sir.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar on innovative marketing strategies in post-COVID world. I welcome you all on behalf of Vishwa Vishwani Institute of Systems and Management. So let's begin. I will take you to this small snapshot about what was the pandemic fallout in different aspects. So if you see how our economy shrank, in March, we were growing close to 4.2%, and we came down to almost 2.1 by May 2020. And manufacturing contracted drastically. Manufacturing was already down by 22% in March, and it went almost 64% down. And because of reverse migration happening from metro cities to the hinterland, huge number of people became jobless. So, as per Center for Industrial Economies observations, by March around 404 million people were in work, and they almost 122 million went out of job. And FMCG consumption, the market is close to 700 billion. That remains unaffected in a sense, like FMCG is still able to do business what it was doing in March. Still the consumption remains unaffected. And the major jump has happened on the what we are actually using the tool, different platforms which are providing the services of connecting with a lot of people across India and globe. So Zoom, if I take one example, the service which we are right now, in March there were around 6.8 lakhs users, and it went down close to 10-fold jump. So today more than 6 million people are using Zoom platforms. Data consumption have increased by 15%. Work from home, many industries are actually getting into that mode because of the constraint of attending offices. But the biggest users were IT firms. Close to 90% of IT firms have successfully migrated to work from home. And then if I give you a small example of newspapers, when I was getting my newspaper in February and March, daily newspaper, or especially the weekends where it used to be congested with a lot of advertisements and the paper used to be 50 pages, now it has shrank to 13 pages. Today I was counting. So this is how the pandemic has resulted into a kind of situation which is forcing all of us to rethink, redesign, and probably work for a new paradigm which is going to come our way. So let's talk further. If you see what are the sectors which were badly affected by this pandemic, were the first is travel, tourism, and aviation. Close to 68% they were affected. Retail, especially bricks and mortar, 56% they were badly affected. Restaurant close to 50%, automotive another 50% almost, apparel. So these are the sectors which were badly hit by this pandemic. And that's how we have to work out a solution so that we are able to provide an answer to how these sectors can be revived to the pre-April or pre-March situation. Though it's not easy, but we don't have any option. We have to break our brain. We have to imagine a new formulas, new innovative solutions so that we can market, identify consumers, add as many consumers as possible. So let's talk further on this. If you see, usually we think like advertising brings consumer, and there is No rocket science here. Everyone thinks like when we throw money on advertising, and then footfall increases, the visit to the shops increases, website hit increases, and then conversion rates increases. But of late, the research says that advertising is no more going to influence consumers to buy anything. In fact, the conversion rates are drastically down. The dollars which we are spending on advertising is not giving the results which it is supposed to. So therefore, most of the marketers have started thinking about what is the replacement of advertising in the post-COVID world. And if you see the data, it's showing like year on year and different countries, the spending on advertising is shrinking. Like for example, US minus 10%, China minus 8%, UK minus 12%, and Germany minus 12%. So this is how 1920 and 2021 uh, the advertising expenditures are going down. Similarly, if you see the time which we are advertising on different platforms like display, television, search, and digital video or out of home, this is also showing a kind of downward trend. So basically, it concludes that advertising, which is a kind of sure shot method of attracting customers for any kind of marketing strategies, is no more a solution. In fact, people have started rethinking on how to calculate ROI on whatever we are spending on advertising. So obviously, advertising is also going for a new approach wherein we'll have to rethink how we should reach to our consumer with reference to our offerings so that our hit rate increases, our conversion rate increases, and our advertising leakages or advertising wastage reduces. There is always a kind of thinking or a belief in the marketer's mind like 50% of the advertising budget goes waste, which 50% is difficult to calculate. But in post-COVID scenario where every dollar matters, nobody can afford this 50% waste. And that is how stringent scrutiny and new methods, a very objective methods, a deliverable methods, so that we can be able to calculate our ROIs and we can understand how we are spending our money and we are able to get as much business as we are spending. So this is how another change which is going to happen post-COVID. And what are the new paradigm we are going to witness after this pandemic gets over? Like life is going to become more virtual, less real, because up till now we used to live in a herd kind of, in a kind of commune. We used to love socializing, and out of the home was the happening world. But now home is the new world, and therefore we have to build our world within our home. So life is going to become more virtual, less real. Socialization is going to be abhorred. Actually, it's not a cool thing now to go out and interact with people, because we never know who is carrying what kind of disease or virus. So this kind of fear will always be there in our mind, and it will be there for quite some times until it uh, purely gets eradicated completely. And then consumer spending more rational and less emotional, because once you don't go out, you remain in home, then you don't have to influence people, and therefore only the mind will tell you what to buy, what is the essentials, that only you'll buy. So the emotional purchases, impulsive buying, ostentatious buying, or buying to influence or showcase your status or something, that is something is going to be on the back burner for quite some time until the normalcy returns. And spending power obviously has been decreased drastically thanks to job cuts, or maybe salary cuts, or reverse migration, whereas a lot of people have been thrown out of job. So the capacity to spend has decreased. So obviously the consumption has also decreased in proportion. And consumer confidence is an all-time low, because everyone is thinking about how the future is going to be. And no one has any answer, right from WHO to President of India or America. No one has real answer like how uh, this country or the world or the society is going to be post COVID-19. So the confidence is all-time low, and then stress level all-time low, because we are in a closet, we are pushed in our home, we have no way to go out, and the things which we used to enjoy is no more with us. In a very constrained life, the stress level is rising, and therefore, when we are highly stressed, we don't feel like buying things, or we don't feel like indulging in anything which is which is costing us. And then there's another angle which is forcing consumers to be more conservative with reference to spending. And then safety and life is the near-term goal. Everyone is thinking like, until if we survive, then we can enjoy our life in future. So everyone is investing a lot of time and thinking in how to remain safe and how to remain away from this danger called COVID-19. So safety and life is the near-term goal. Everyone is thinking in 6 months to 1 year, we should not catch this particular virus, or we should not get into any kind of trouble with reference to hospitalization or any kind of health issues. So this is how the new paradigm is unfolding post-COVID. And some of the industry responses on post-COVID scenario with reference to working, like IBM has already announced 75% of its staff, they are going to shift permanently work from home. So it's a big announcement in a sense that will all affect the consumption in the market. When people go out, they indulge in restaurant, they indulge in movies, they indulge in buying fashion, accessories, all sort of things. So when these people are pushed work from home, these are going to have dampening effect on the consumer sentiments of consumption pattern. And next is what Rishabh Premji has announced. The Wipro also have no plans of 100% normalcy in their workstations. And in fact, they are saying we will never be returning back 100% in our offices. So obviously they might be having a lot of plans to shun working from the locations. In fact, they might be working same way as IBM is working. And IKEA, the major retailer of the world, they used to fancy their stores and they love inviting people in their stores. They are also forced to rejig their operations, and they have added e-commerce to its business model, wherein it's delivering products to the nearby areas through this mode. So that is another response. And imagine if people are not going to IKEA stores, means they are buying only essentials, which is just good enough to sustain and survive their life. So, and another response which has come from World Bank chief economist Carmen Reinhart, and she said like, we were living in a global village, but thanks to COVID-19, the idea of globalization has been hit very bad. In fact, she's very harsh with the statement wherein she's saying COVID-19 is the last nail in globalization coffin. It's a very big statement that basically means that world economies are going to restructure. Up till now, we had been talking about making the world a global village wherein the entire economy is getting integrated, WTO managing all the tariffs and trades and all sort of disputes, and trade flowing for the benefit of the mankind. But COVID has really brought a break into it, wherein people have started thinking inward of how to become more sustainable, how to become more Atmanirbhar, as our Prime Minister Modi has also outlined that the future is to be self-sustenance and self-reliant. So the globalization has also affected the entire marketing and how we reach out to the consumers, because now it will be more conservative, more nationalistic. It would be a more localized approach to selling things or adding consumers to your business basket. So this is another statement which is forcing all of us to ponder about how the world will look like post COVID-19. And so from marketing perspective, how does it look like? What marketing will respond with this scenario? So comfort and security will be the focus for marketers. Because as we said, people are less and less socializing, people are less and less going out, they are less and less adventurous, all travel routes are closed, trains are not operating, There's so much restrictions on air travel across the globe or within the country. So therefore, comfort and security will be the focus. So if you are selling anything and if you are able to drive the point wherein your offer is going to bring comfort and security for the prospective customers, you will be responded with. So this is one aspect. And second, sustenance and survival will be the short-term goal of business. So any business, they should forget about double-digit growth or year-on-year 2%, 3% additions. The time is such wherein they should be able to think on survival and sustenance. Will they be able to cross this quarter, next quarter, or maybe a year next? They have to take it one by one. They should not talk about 2021, 21, 22. They should talk in terms of quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Will they be able to cross Q4 health-wise? I mean, will they be able to navigate this challenge in this quarter? So that's how things are going to unfold. And what are the different opportunities which this COVID is going to throw us? 1.3 billion consumers, a big country, and we know around 300 to 400 million people are in middle class, another 400 crying to get into the middle class. So therefore, huge market to serve, 1.3 billion consumers ready to reboot the way they consume media, product, time, and money. So we have to understand their black box. We have to decode how they think so that we would be able to align our strategies and reach their expectation. And then more local and less global will be the new norms, because already government of India has announced in a very big way huge package for MSMEs. Close to 6 crores MSMEs they are vying to actually start in a very big way, and the government support is coming their ways in terms of different kinds of packages, easy credit. So there, for what we are going to see is like more and more MSMEs going to be vibrant, and support from the government will let into more local products and less global. So import will reduce gradually, and locals will be filling up those gaps, which is going to be reduced by the global imports. And next, post-COVID-19 will throw a very new protocol for customer engagements. The way we used to engage customers, like we used to have and out of home discussions, like suppose I want to sell a real estate property to a customers, our meetings used to happen in a hotel, maybe on a restaurant, maybe in a bar. But post COVID, this kind of interactions are definitely a no-no. Obviously, it's going to be more on the technological platform, wherein a lot of augmented reality. My friend Professor Lakshman is going to add further on this. A lot of augmented reality, virtual reality, or some other aspects wherein they will be giving you the actual feel of the property which you're going to buy, interactions. So that's what we are talking about, new protocol for customer engagements in almost all sectors, in almost all product categories are going to come. And how are we going to target consumers? So when we are talking about innovative marketing strategies, it basically says that what we were actually using as a tool to add consumer, to transact, to delight him, it's not going to work basically, because a new situation demands new approach. So Ola campaign, if some of you following now, they have brought in a lot of empathetic communication. They are talking about the safety of the rider. They are talking about what all the actions they are taking for the safety of the riders, and how they are responding to the COVID alarming situation. So basically, they are not talking about business. They are not talking about how cheap per kilometer their ride is. And they're not talking about how easily you can spot an Ola ride. They are basically talking about how the Ola will be so safe for you to drive into your workplaces or at your home. So targeting consumer will go for a drastic changes with reference to how we add more consumers. So we will talk more empathetically and no opportunistic communication, in a sense, to beat your competitors or to beat your rivals. Next is more reassuring and reinstating positivity. Like if you order a Domino pizza today, you will get to understand what are they doing to they're talking about. They're talking about every step of their pizza preparations, how they are taking care so that the consumer's safety is assured. So they are talking about how they right from uh, stage one to stage final, how they are taking care of every variables which are going into making your pizzas, and that is being beamed to you in your television or on a digital platform. So you get more reassured, and then you feel positive, like nothing's going to happen. This company is a good company; it's going to take care of me. So therefore, you'll be more confident about the product, and you'll order this. So this is what we call it as assuring and reinstating positivity, and mollycoddling jointly by government and private players to gain trust. Now everyone is in a distress situation, and everyone feels like government is doing nothing, and companies are doing nothing, marketers are doing nothing. So in that kind of distressed situation, many agencies like government and private players, they join together and mollycoddle in a sense. They will coddle the customers, they will reassure them, and they will do everything from the point of view of a consumer. So if you see how the airport is reorganizing their operations, how railway stations are reorganizing their operations, and how consumers are being trained to access those services in the best interest of them, and how government or private players are responding to any emergency or any situations, especially at airport and railway stations, you can understand it is more pro customers, it's more pro users. So that is what is going to be the new strategies, and more personalized communication using technology. So forget about full page advertisements in business dailies or newspapers. Forget about pamphlets and high five flyers in a glossy papers going across homes. It's not going to convert consumers towards business. It's not going to influence them to sign you up. uh, it would be more personalized communication, wherein they use technology and you communicate one to one, and you drive your points, and you try to prevail upon them with empathetic communication, reassuring positivity, and all such things. And that's how it's going to be the way forward. So, and next is up till now, everyone used to think about operating alone and not joining hands with anybody. But the future is it demands a lot of reassurance with our community, with our own people who are along us, not only for emotional support but for economic and business, whatever we call it as. So as we move forward post-COVID, a lot of partnership and joint strategies will be the way. Like many colleges will come together to operate, many businesses will come together to help each other to survive this situation. So that's how a lot of agencies will come together to face this post-COVID situation. And right now, you see pharma brand joining hand for vaccines. So up till now, they used to operate and they were trying hard to get the credit of inventing a vaccine. But then they know that the post-COVID situation will demand a very humongous response to control such situation. So there are thousands or hundreds, if I say hundreds of pharma brands and companies across the globe, they are joining hands with each other so that they can come out with a positive response on how to fight this COVID-19, maybe by vaccine or maybe some medicines or some sort of treatment protocol. So these things are how it's happening, and business model reorganized to uh, face challenges. A lot of businesses earlier they were running, like for example, if I tell you the fast food counters, wherein the business model was like they will open a shop, you go there, you buy the stuff, there were place where you can sit and then you can consume. But now things are going for a change. they are becoming more into a kind of food tech companies, delivering those things at your doorsteps. So instead of letting you come there and eat, you will be forced to order online at your place. Similarly, a lot of institutions, those who were training people in their premises, calling them over there and engaging them face to face, now no more these things. They are going to shift to a new model. We call it as online mode of delivering services. Already many of them have started using different services. And boys, those who want to get trained, they are hooking up with those communication technologies, and they're able to get other services done. And similarly, if you want to, let's say, up till now we were watching television and our different programs, but because of this lockdown situation, a lot of OTT over the platform new services have been added, and so therefore the way television was working, they will not be working anymore, because a lot of advertisement money will go into this Netflix and Amazon Prime Video as well. So they have to reorganize their own business model. And so this, what I was talking about, food companies, education institutions, training companies, there are so many others, those who have to reorganize. And so in future, intelligent will innovate, and they are the one who is going to provide innovative solutions. As Stephen Hawkins always said, intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. And there are no dearth of people, intelligent people, who are going to find solution, because human race is a very tough race. It has survived 5,000, 10,000 years of onslaught of different types of problems and challenges, whether nature or technological or whatever. So we will definitely come out as a winner from this pandemic situation, and people are there who will find a way forward. So this was all from my end. Thank you so much. I hope I had been able to uh, create a kind of thinking in your mind, like how we would be moving forward with reference to targeting our consumers in whichever category of product or services you are dealing with, that what you had been doing previously will not be working. You should not be chasing numbers. You should not be chasing those percentages of growth. Basically, you should be chasing the comfort and security of consumers, and so that they are able to navigate these challenges. The business will follow thereafter. Thank you so much. It was pleasure talking. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bharat sir. This indeed covered our students' question on what would be the future of marketing, I guess. Okay. So I would like to welcome our speaker, second speaker, Venkat Lakshman sir. Yeah, Bharat sir, if you could stop the screen sharing. Okay, thank you, sir. So with 3 years of industry experience and 15 years of rich teaching experience, Professor Venkata Lakshman works as Quality Control Head at Vishwa Vishwani Institute of Systems and Management. Awarded as the best teacher in 2018, he also excelled in handling marketing management, promotion and distribution management, supply chain and retail marketing. I welcome you, sir. Over to you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Manita. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So please wait for a couple of minutes. I'm going to share the screen with you. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Today, my topic is innovative marketing strategies in post-COVID. So before moving into the concept, let us understand what is innovation and why innovation is required. Before going to commence this webinar, I'm going to give a quote given by the Stephen Hawking, which is already given by the Dr. Bharat. That is, intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Now the era we need to accept about the quotient that is called as adaptability quotient. Yesterday we talked about intelligent quotient, emotional quotients, and all those things. Now the people who can adapt to the changing circumstances, they only can survive. That is what we call it as AQ, adaptability quotient. Innovation is the order of the day in these unprecedented times. So before going into the how COVID-19 has impacted, let me give some examples how innovation will make survive the business and make some disruptions in the industry. Way back in the 1990s and early 2000, Kevin Kerr has revolutionized the entire FMCG industry with Sachet. So Sachet is one of the greatest innovations in terms of the packaging, in terms of the product. Similarly, in the mid 2000, Tata Docomo has come out with a beautiful plan with 1 paisa per second. Till then, the telecom operators were charging the customers 1 rupee per minute. So this Tata Docomo has disrupted the entire pricing mechanism. That's what I call it as pricing innovation. And coming to the year 2014, Motorola has re-entered the Indian market with exclusive tie-up with Flipkart. So these mobiles were available only in the Flipkart, that is called as only in the online. In those times, it was a very new mechanism. So they have created disrupted in distribution channel. I call it as place innovation. So when you look at the basic 4 P's of the marketing, product, price, place, and promotion, in all these aspects, we can create innovation. Now, let us look at how technology will disrupt the entire ecosystem. Technology is going to go leaps and bounds. Since lockdown has been announced by the government of India on March 22nd, all education institutions have been closed. Thanks, all edtech platforms are uprising in their own businesses. They're in the Indian market with a lot of offerings. When you look at the statistics, we can have 25% growth daily in the active users and 82% growth in the time spent by the users. That is significantly increased both in terms of active users and also the time. If you look at some of the examples of edtech platforms, you can take Byju's, Udemy, edX, and if you look at our MHRD government portal that is called as Swayam also, you can find so many of registrations. Technology. It is not only confined to educational sector, but also to the various platforms. So these are all some of the examples in edtech platforms. When you look at these learning management systems, we have Edmodo and Moodles. When you come to these broad online learning platforms, we have Coursera, Udemy, Udacity. When you come to the evaluation pattern, we have Kahoot, and so on and so forth. And technology is not only confined to the urban areas, it has been penetrated into the tier 3 and tier 4 towns and into the small villages also. Look at the TikTok. Who made this TikTok? I mean, who are the major participants in the TikTok? Majority of the participants were from the rural region, and especially they were making the TikTok videos in their own regional languages. And also look at the YouTube. YouTube has been watching by the Hindi belt of India, and next to the Hindi belt, our vernacular languages like Telugu and Tamil people are watching more YouTube videos. So that is how the technology or internet has been penetrated into our day-to-day lives. And next, coming to the 5G. So we have witnessed 2G and then 3G, and now we are experiencing the 4G. 5G is going to be rolled out very soon in India. Otherwise, it had been launched in the second half of 2020. Maybe it get postponed because of this pandemic issue. And it is going to change the entire scenario. If you look at the entertainment sector, a high definition movie can be downloaded only in a couple of minutes. Now it is taking maybe 8 to 10 minutes. But when you look at the 5G wireless network, in your mobile phone, you can download the movie within a couple of minutes. And next to 5G, the place goes to the AR and VR. That is, those are augmented reality and virtual reality. And also voice technology. Already we have been experiencing the Amazon Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, etc. So it is going to change the entire shopping experience of the customers, especially those who are in the online. Look at this one. This is a classic example of AR augmented reality. A customer is placing the mobile phone in his hands and watching the different offers. And then you look at the VR, virtual reality. It is going to enhance the product catalog experience in the websites. It is a future. And without mentioning the AI and ML, there is no meaning in discussing on technology. The use of technologies like artificial intelligence help the marketeers make the most of in managing the customer data. In yesteryears, collecting the customer data, managing the customer data is tremendous, tedious effort. But right now, thanks to the artificial intelligence, we can track, we can trace, we can collect the data at all and at different touch points. And we should remember that in these unprecedented times, consumers are changing their expectations from the brand. Consumers are changing their behaviors. So as a marketeers, we should lead, we should understand what consumers want. And let us understand how the business models have been redefined themselves in this COVID-19. The COVID-19 crisis is forcing marketeers in India to rethink every aspect of their business. That means all industries, all manufacturers, all the product companies, or not only product companies, but also service companies, are redefining their business models. When you look at the what do you call the popular garment manufacturers who do manufacture the brands like Ellen Solly, Louis Philippi, etc., they are producing the masks, and also the FMCG companies like Kevin Care, they are producing the sanitizers, and you can have the company called as Wildcrafts, which is very popular in travel accessories, and then also who are the manufacturer of the school bags. Now they are diversifying their business into the producing the masks. With customers navigating a series of new normals, personalized empathetic engagement has becoming more important. So what do you mean by new normals? We all know that wearing the mask, maintaining the social distance, sanitizing, hygiene, all these are becoming the part and parcel of our life. So in this kind of environment, customers are expecting the personalized commitment from the companies, marketeers, from the brands especially. So what we call it as empathetic marketing. That means stepping into the shoes of the customers, listen to them, what they are expecting. So engage with them, inform them, talk to them. So when you look at this diagram, it is a what do you call it as? This figure shows the hand sanitizers produced by the Kevin Care company under the brands Cheek, Nike, and all those aspects. And the second figure, the second diagram shows the Wildcraft mask. And coming to the customer engagement, the most important part of a marketeer's life. As per the global study, 75% of the marketeers describe their customer engagement as data-driven. So where this data has been captured from the various different data sources. Day to day, we make n number of transactions from your mobile phone, from the laptop, in terms of payment, in terms of online, in terms of watching entertainment, in terms of watching the news, in terms of learning the aspects. So increasing the number of data sources with the transactional data, customer interests and preferences will be known. As a marketer, I am interested to understand what are my customer interests and what are my changing preferences of customers. So that is number one. And second one, unlike in the traditional marketing, we used to send the customized marketing messages. It is order of the day because customers are having their own unique needs and expectations. And thanks to the artificial intelligence, we can get the customer deep insights. Based on these aspects, we can send the customized marketing communication. And one important is very important for the marketeers. Those are digital channels are more important than ever. Forget about traditional marketing. Now, the focus more on the digital channels. For example, in Italy, Once the government introduced the countrywide quarantines in mid-March, there is an increased online traffic by 30%. And also we have seen this kind of scenario in China. Almost all online games were downloaded for about 40%. Even if you look at our India, majority of the Indians were playing and now are also playing the Ludo game, which is popular among the online consumers. I've seen so many customers, so many players, they were putting the status of the playing the Ludo game on their WhatsApp. That is a tremendous potential of the online games. So now people continue to self-isolate and spend more time in online. Thanks to the increasing the COVID cases, government has giving warnings and giving recommendations, instructions to people, stay home, stay safe. So because of all these aspects, people are not going to outside. They're isolating themselves, they're quarantining themselves, now resulting in spending more time in online. So two things are important. Number one, responding to customer needs empathetically, what we call it as empathetic marketing. So in a personalized manner. It can be possible with the evolution and emerging of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Second one is respect new personal restrictions and circumstances. So respect their social distance, respect all those new normals. So majority of the companies now are encouraging the contactless delivery. And also there is a shift in the digital payments now what we are witnessing. And another important aspect is we need to redefine our brand relevance. Still, are we relevant to the customers in this pandemic situation? Is brand serving its own purpose? Is my message is relevant to the consumers? Are they connecting with them? What customers want now? Do they want premium products? Do they want some other aspects? Do they want value addition aspects? So let us understand what they want. What do they need to hear? What they're expecting from us in terms of communication? And can your brand fulfill that need now? That has to be questioned oneself and try to get the answers. Now, do remember, consumers are moving from physical to digital storefront. Now, consumers, we cannot trace the consumers on the physical stores and on the roads. Now, most of the consumers and citizens are present in the digital platform. Second, in terms of communication, do remember, we are living in the world of over messaging environment. Lots of information is flooded in WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, etc. and etc. So you need to be very cautious when communicating with the customers. Don't talk too much about the COVID-19. We all know about all those things. And customers also do not want to know much about this, the negative impact of the COVID-19. Don't talk too much. And use segmentation variables. And ensure each and every message, what you have communicated is to be counted. And do understand that the pandemic is not a marketing trend. It is not at all. We are going to live with this COVID-19. Ensure there is a relevance in your communication. Ensure the value in the communication. And next one is, the shopping experience is very hard to replicate online. Everybody knows that. But we can make some individualized product recommendations based out of your artificial intelligence. For example, Netflix. When you watch Netflix, a particular web series or a movie, it will show some kind of recommendations based on your interest. So some figure is being displayed on your screen, 97% matching with your watching video. How it is possible? That is what it is called as understanding the consumer preferences, getting into the deeper insights of the consumers. Use omni-channel to your advantage, both offline and online. However, roll out campaigns that reward online shopping. Try to reward the people who are doing the online shopping because it is order of the day. Reward on digital purchases. For example, SBI has its own app called as SBI Rewards. The people who are doing the transactions using the ATM and online, they are getting some points. And these, when the points are being accumulated, they can redeem at some point of time. That's how we can encourage the customers. And second, if you find any loyal offline customers, try to use these customers to convert them into the online. For example, iMobile. iMobile is an app from the ICICI Bank. Have seen so many employees in the ICICI Bank. They try to educate the customers who are regularly visiting their branches on the usage of the mobile so that they can do the banking transactions on their own. Simple example of using the online encouraging the online. Then how to analyze these online transactions? Nowadays, we are having the Google Analytics, the beautiful tool. So we know where our consumers, what they are consuming, which web pages they are watching, how much time they're spending, how they are navigating from one web page to other web page. All this is possible to the Google Analytics. Based on the results, you can reframe, modify your strategy. Let us bring out some small caselet. How this COVID has impacted the packaged juice companies and what kind of strategies they are adapting. What I'm talking about is innovative marketing strategies. So the biggest question for packaged juice companies is how to boost demand. This example has taken, which is being published in Business Line newspaper on June 23rd, 2020. So the biggest challenge for the packaged juice companies is in-home consumption. They're banking on this right now. And now they're also focusing on health and wellness segment and also immunity boosting segment. So these are the two buzzwords which are being made a lot of noise in this COVID-19, health and wellness and increasing the immunity. So these are the challenges for the package companies. How packaged juice industry has impacted? If you look at this packaged industry, the packaged juices segment relies on out-of-home consumption. That is how they have been evolved. And it is severely impacted due to the pandemic. And also due to the closure of hotels, restaurants, and caterers, it is also impacted on the packaged juice segment. Now, what kind of strategies they can be adapted? Now, let us take an example of the Dabur India. Dabur India has adopted two-pronged strategy. Number one, launching the new immunity boosting juices that is called as product innovation. And second one is repurposing the brand communication to highlight the immunity benefits of real fruit juices. One is launching the new product variant based on immunity. Second one, communicating the benefits, USP of the product to the consumers. So product innovation and then communication, which is relevant. So the recent launches from the Dabur is, they have recently launched Amla Plus juice in a ready-to-format drink under the brand Dabur. They also introduced yellow kiwi juice and masala sugarcane juice under the Real brand. And it has also ventured into the milk-based products with the launch of Real Milkshake. So these are some of the figures which is there shown. This is called as Real Wellness Amla juice, being Tetra Pak size, priced at 99. And then look at this one. It is Real Aloe Vera Kiwi juice. Again, they're communicating about the great taste of kiwi with goodness of aloe vera. So both taste, they are not compromising on the taste as well as on the health benefits using the aloe vera. Now, what kind of strategies can be adopted by the marketeers? Number one, be calm and be positive. Don't create some noise. Customers are frustrated. Customers have no time to listen to you. So be calm. It's not the right time to create some buzz. And also be positive about the approach toward the customers. And second one, find a core strength. Core strength that means in the BCG matrix, find out what are your stars and what are your cash cows. Find out which flagship brand is bringing the revenues for your organization. Protect that flagship brand. Third one, focus on the liquidity. Now, every organization and every company is facing the crisis, cash, less cash inflows, and it is not the right time to invest in other areas. Fourth one is cut down unnecessary expenditure. We need to discriminate what is necessary expenditure and unnecessary expenditure and cut down the unnecessary ones. And the last leg of this webinar is on digitalization. When you look at the latest McKinsey report, digitalization would create 60 million jobs, displacing 40 million jobs, and thus net effect is creating 20 million new jobs. What does it mean? This digitalization is going to create 60 million new jobs, not the old existing jobs. That means those who ever good at digital work, they can grab the jobs, displacing the 40 million existing jobs which are not aligned with the digital. So what is the moral of this particular statement? That means everybody has to be reskilled and upskill themselves from the existing skill set to the digital skill set. As an academician, earlier pre-COVID world, I taught with Blackboard and Chalkbase or your PPTs. But right now, I upskill myself to teach using the online ICT tools. I also know how to evaluate assessment using the Google Classroom or Kahoot and etc. The role of job are changing dramatically. Work from home is a quite success for many industries, including our teaching fraternity, and resulting there's an increase in the sales of home office furniture. Godrej Boyers, who is the market leader in the furniture, they have witnessed 40% of the sales in this home office furniture. And also we can have the increase in the sales of wearables as well as the apps. So this figure shows a small furniture, call it a office. That means home plus office. It can be used at home for office purpose. But do remember that the timeless skill of marketer is remain unchanged in maintaining relationship with customers. If you ask me what is my favorite definition of marketing, marketing can be defined in many ways. Many people have given different definitions. The popular definition is marketing is all about satisfying the customer needs and wants with profitable customer relationships. So we can maintain the in the unprecedented time also even much more than ever of the pre-COVID, thanks to the digital marketing. Show them you care them, not just selling the products or services. Role of marketing is being changing from time to time. It is the right time to keep informed about your offerings. It is the right time to keep engaged with the customers. And why digital marketing? If you look at the statistical part, 62 million internet users are in India, 400 million smartphone users, and 200 million Facebook users. And second important aspect is return on investment. That what we call it as ROI of digital marketing is higher than the traditional marketing. Number one, because of the high conversion rate. It could be filling an inquiry form, it could be calling on our phone, or it could be a sale. What we call it as conversions in the digital marketing. Second one is customization. We can customize the offerings as per the needs and wants. The second, last important thing is no waste of money. In the advertising world, we say that half of the money is being spent. We don't know how we spend, where we spend it, but it is not going to be there in the digital marketing. Thanks to the search engine marketing and PPC, pay per click, we know each rupee how we spend and where it goes. And Government of India is also promoting the Digital India campaign, resulting in increasing the awareness of digital literacy and hence opportunities. Social media marketing. Where are customers? Customers are not in the shopping malls. Customers are not in the movie theaters. Customers are not in other areas. Customers are in your Facebook. Customers are in Instagram. Customers are in your Snapchat. Customers in your Twitter. Grab them. When you look at the search engine marketing, AdWords, another word of your advertisements, they are cheaper than that of your advertisings, traditional advertisings. And then SEO, but what we call it as search engine optimization. So search for the right keywords where customers are looking for. And however, even though that what the search words like your corona, COVID, pandemic, maybe some of the relevant things which you can go with the search engine optimization. And fourth one is display ads. If you look at the opportunity available, display ads is one of the wonderful opportunities where we can go with the OTT sites. What do you mean the OTT site? Over the top site. Any content which is being streamed over the internet is called as OTT. It could be in audio format or video format. Example are your Netflix, Amazon Prime, Z5, etc. So thanks to the COVID and lockdown, there is a 40% rise in the consumption at in-house in-home entertainment. And also we can go for display ads in edtech platforms. Students are not in the colleges, students are not in the schools, but where they are in the edtech platforms. They're engaging themselves. So it is one of the best platforms to be given display ads. And consumer search near me. Don't forget the keyword near me. Consumers are looking for the products or offerings near their surroundings, near their what do you call residential areas. So that is an important keyword. And email marketing. And during the lockdown, Zomato has sent so many email communications about the safety concerns of the consumer, that how it is being engaged with the customers. And Vola is another important company. During unlock situations, they are talking about the safety measures, and they are talking about the other measurements that are taken to take care of their riders. So that's an important thing. And next one is offers and discounts as less income levels. Do understand that customers do not have the money. Everybody has lessen their disposable income. They will be so with the less disposable incomes, don't expect too much from the customers. It is the right time to offer discounts. That is why if you look at the Uber and Rapido, which are taxi aggregators, they are providing the passes so that they can travel in their taxis or bikes with discounted prices. And last one is FAQ content, frequently asked questions. Try to buzz your website with the frequently asked questions with trivial issue. Give as much information as possible, what the offerings you can give to the customers, and all those aspects. And what are the emerging jobs in this digital marketing arena? Number one, freelancers. You have any skill set, showcase, freelance yourself. Content writers, thanks to the emerging of digital marketing agencies. Web design skills, you can go into the designing of the website. Online tuitions if you're an academician, and you can have your own digital marketing agency. You can work for the even small companies also. This is not an exhaustive list, but is an idea to give what kind of jobs can be emerged out of this COVID-19. Let us conclude with two statements. Today we have tools to gain insights on what consumers need in the moment and respond with personal relevance at an unprecedented scale. That means personal relevance is first thing we need to take away. And second one, taking advantage of this will be key while consumers are distancing themselves physically, even though it is, but remain connected digitally, perhaps closer than ever. So now customers are closer than ever, not physically, digitally. Is it not an opportunity for all of us? Yes, it is an opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lakshman sir. Wonderfully explained. In this Q&A session, I would like to discuss two major questions which I received from our students. The first one is on artificial intelligence and supply chain. I would request Lakshman sir to answer this question. So the question goes like, how do artificial intelligence will impact consumer behavior and supply chain in future?
Okay. So as we already discussed, this artificial intelligence is the new technology which is being emerged, widely used by the marketeers. If you look at this artificial intelligence, we can take the example of the virtual personal assistant. So you can take the example of Amazon Alexa or your Google Assistant. So these are the wonderful, virtual personal assistants. And second one is robotic chatbots also. Chatbots, if I have any query about a product, if I go to the website, here there is no need to talk with the customer care people. If I type a keyword, automatically the answer will be displayed on the screen. That is called as chatbots. So chatbots, robotics, virtual personal assistants, all these things are, the great thing at our disposal in our to render services to the consumers. And second one is this artificial intelligence helps in collecting the customer data. So unlike making the surveys and questionnaires, we can collect the data by tracking the customers. Yes.
Vanita, shall I add few points here?
Yes, sure, sir. You can go ahead.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point how artificial intelligence will help marketing. I was giving a statement like 50% of marketing effort goes waste It does not help in actually bringing customers or converting customers towards profitability. And we don't know what is that 50% which is going waste. This artificial intelligence, or AI we call it as, has the capacity to actually capture in a very micro fashion the detailed insight of a consumer. So therefore, if Professor Lakshman has to be offered a product, he will be offered exactly what he is looking for. Up till now, what is happening is anybody is offering anything to consumer, and then consumers are rejecting 90% and they are finally not selecting anything. AI will find exact requirement of a consumers and they will throw that particular choices to him. Consumers will have no option but to take it. So in that process, lot of filtration of unnecessary media communications will happen, and it will be a pinpoint targeting of a consumer. So time will be saved, effort will be saved, resources will be saved, and obviously consumer, since he is not putting lot of effort in selections, he also will be happy. So that is how things are going to move. Thank you.
Very true, sir. So my second question from our student is, as an MBA student, how can I equip myself for the expected marketing changes we discussed?
Okay. Lakshman, you want to take?
Yes, sir. I will start the discussion and you can end it up. Here, we need to understand that unlearn, learn, and relearn. These three things are very important. Unlearn what you have learned, which is not relevant to the current situation. So, my advice to the MBA aspirants is unlearn the traditional marketing aspects, learnings. Relearn yourself what industry wants, what industry expects, especially in terms of your knowledge in the digital arena, and relearn. Sir, Bharat sir.
Yeah. So what an MBA student has to understand is, once we are distancing physically and connecting virtually, there is a big meaning over here. Basically, it means everyone is now available on the web. Don't go and beat your chest on the physical world.
Yes.
And get affected.
Yes.
So my one take for all the MBA aspirants is, please be very, very proficient in digital marketing and targeting using digital platform. That is number one. Second, they should be practicing and becoming proficient in how they can communicate effectively using those platforms. I mean, we were talking about very personalized communication, very empathetic communication, designing a communication which influences their target consumers. So this second aspect they have to learn. The second, what Professor Lakshman is talking about, unlearn, like things are changing. So therefore the strategy has to adapt to those changing. Whether consumer is changing, their buying behavior is changing, or the overall market scenario is changing, you need to be aligning yourself with the relevant situation. So if you see tomorrow, more and more augmented reality, more and more virtual reality is going to play out on the retail world or on apparel world or any situation. As a marketing student, you should be very proficient in handling those things. So anyone who is not actually upskilling themselves on an exponential way, they will be actually left behind, because technology is moving very fast. If you see 2-3 years back, our phone was 2 GB RAM and probably 16 GB hard drive. But within 3 years, you have 10 GB RAM and some 1 terabyte of hard drive. So that is the scale at which things are changing. And why this increase in RAM and increase in hard drive happening is because we are going to embrace 5G. Lot of data will travel. Artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, all these things are going to be a factor in whatever businesses are doing and whichever way they are doing it. So as a marketing professional, you are supposed to be well versed, updated, upskilled in how these things are going and panning out, so that you are in the
Okay, Bharat sir, I guess your audio is muted.
Yeah, I unmuted it.
Yes, yes. Okay, sir.
I finished. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So this indeed is a wonderful session. I hope we reach the end of our today's session. I thank our speakers, Dr. Bharat sir and Lakshman sir, for joining us in this session. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Emails with e-certificates will be distributed to our participants shortly. With a single click, students can generate their e-certificates if they have 90% attendance for the session. With your permission, I would like to end this session, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Can we leave?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can.